There's this point in your manifestation journey that I feel like no one talks about where you've already successfully manifested pretty big things, but for whatever reason, you're stuck in this period of time, this gap, if you will, where it feels next to impossible to manifest anything else. And I feel like this period of time is categorized by things like you feeling like you have less control than you actually do, or you forgetting to do the energy work, or you forgetting that you can even control your energy at all, even though you know that energy is everything. And that's exactly what got you that first or second or third big manifestation you did. And the best way I can categorize what this time feels like is that it feels like you've gone lazy to the idea of manifestation. It feels like your body cannot be bothered and you do not want to do the work, which is very frustrating because you also know that manifestation is the very thing that will make your life better. It's the very thing that will change everything. But something in you just cannot get motivated to actually do it again. I've hit this point in manifestation several times now, which is why today I'm going to talk to you about why it happens and how we can fix it. The first time this happened for me was after I hit a big financial milestone in my business. And the entire month that I've been working towards that financial milestone, I had been not only meticulous about my energy and how I was showing up, but I was also really taking a lot of action to get there. And all of that manifestation actually felt like very hard work to me. At the end of the month, while I was so in awe of what I just did and the way that it came in was just so out of the ordinary, I cannot even explain it. It also was absolutely exhausting. And the period after that month, I didn't really have any drive or desire to continue to hit that milestone because I was exhausted. I was tired. I didn't want to do it again. But come several months later, when I kind of was sitting there, I was like, I should probably do more. I kind of want that to happen again. I found myself very resistant to hitting it. And it made me really go back and reflect on what actually happened that is causing me to have this kind of laziness towards this skill, if you will, that has really changed my life in so many ways and has given me everything I could ever want. When I was reflecting on it, the answer really came back to one main thing, and it's burnout. The thing about manifesting is that when you set a big goal for yourself, maybe something that you don't think you're capable of, or it's bigger than you could ever imagine, it will take hard work. In order for you to truly manifest something that big, you don't just have to show up and take actions in order to get yourself there. You also have to do all the energy work. You have to work with your brain. You have to convince yourself that you actually could be the person that has those things. And then, in the face of all of the doubts, in the face of all of the moments where things maybe don't work out how you think they're going to, or how you would have thought if that thing was going to come in, you have to show up and you have to get your brain on track. And those things take a lot more energy than we often realize. Once you have the manifestation, what often happens is that while you are excited, you've also done so much work to get yourself to a place of feeling like that is already yours that you're kind of like, yeah, good, okay, cool, like what's next? And because of that, your body subtly starts to forget the good because you don't really have a high as much as you would have thought you would, but it remembers the hard, the energy, the effort, everything you put in to get there. And because we're all just animals at the end of the day who want to conserve energy and not put more out so that we can survive, we don't really want to do it again. It's similar to beginning an exercise journey where when you first start to exercise, you might not want to go and actually show up at the gym. But once you do and you get yourself there, afterwards, you typically feel better. You have dopamine rushing through you. You feel the high. You feel dead, but you actually feel the difference. However, you still don't want to show up the next day. You still don't want to do it because your body hasn't really connected the high and the feeling of feeling good with the actual activity itself yet. All your body is remembering is the energy you're putting out. It's not until you've disciplined yourself into showing up for the gym time and time and time again that your body starts to associate exercise with feeling good. And you naturally want to go to the gym because you want to feel good. You know your day won't be as good, or you won't have as much energy, or you won't feel as excited or happy if you don't show up for that activity, even when it still feels hard. And this is the funny thing about manifestation, is that it seems so easy. It seems like something that is just so natural. It's just thinking, how could that take so much energy? But we neglect to realize that when our brain is being changed, it takes a ton of energy, just not the physical kind. So, how do we fix it? First, we have to get excited about what we actually want before we hit rock bottom. One of the main reasons we don't feel naturally inclined to jump into the next big manifestation is because our life circumstances aren't that bad. There is so much truth behind the idea that pain is a bigger motivator than pleasure. It's not to say that pleasure can't motivate you into the next thing, it's just to say that you need a very significant amount of pleasure in order to do that. So, when we have life circumstances that aren't that bad because we've already manifested beyond our wildest dreams, it's not that surprising that our body isn't wanting to jump into putting more energy and more effort into changing our brain and changing our energy and changing how we feel in order to get something else. While, yes, we want that thing, the amount of pleasure that we are currently perceiving we will get from that thing isn't more than the amount of pain that putting that energy in will take. And our life circumstances aren't bad enough for us to feel like we need to make the change right now. This is honestly one of the most challenging things to overcome because when you have a life that you've built and you've worked really hard for, and it's actually pretty good, we don't want to have to wait until rock bottom hits again to make another change. And so the skill of actually training your body and teaching your body to take action, not from a place of desperation, is something that you literally have to train into yourself. Now, the biggest thing that I have noticed helps this is you have to make the pleasure of what you are going to work towards and what you're going to get from what you're going to work towards seem so big, so great, so incredible that you do want it right now. You don't want to wait for it. You don't want it next month. You don't want it the month after. You don't want it next year. You want it now. And therefore, you're going to feel more motivated to work for that. The hard part about this is that naturally, you're probably not going to feel that excited about that thing right away. You're going to feel good about it. You're going to feel intrigued by it. You're going to feel like, heck yeah, I want that. But you're not going to feel like, oh my God, I need to show up every single day, all day in order to get this. And that's the kind of energy that you almost need in order to feel like it's already yours and take those steps necessary to get there. So here's what we're going to do. First, you're going to set up reminders of what it is you're actually working towards throughout your entire life. You can set alarms on your phone. You can put pictures up on your wall or on your fridge. You can put pictures on your mirror. You can set the background of your home screen. But the key with these reminders is you can't let yourself get routine to them. Whenever you see these reminders, you're going to manufacture the feeling of excitement or the feeling you'll have once you already have that thing in that moment. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to bring it into your body. You're going to pretend it's already there and you're going to feel how good that feels. And then you're going to 10x it. This is how we're going to start to train your body to get into the energy work and to feel the pleasure of that thing so that you have more drive and desire towards it again. Next, we're going to set up a routine. And this routine is going to include all of the manifestation practices or exercises you used in the past that you know work. Some of my favorites are daily breath work because breath work actually helps your body memorize different energetic states at faster speeds. I have a free track that I use every single morning when I'm working to manifest something, and I'll leave it in the description. I also love using mala beads like these or any sort of counting device to help you go through your affirmations. And as you're saying your affirmations, I personally like to pretend like I am already that version of myself that has that thing. So I'm really tapping into the energy behind the affirmation. And then my personal favorite is manifestation walks, where I actually go on a walk around my neighborhood or whatever walk I normally take. But during that entire walk, I pretend like I'm playing the character of the version of myself in 1 month or 2 months or whatever it is that already has that thing. And on those walks, I'll actually ask myself questions like, do you want to go left or right? Where do you want to look? What do you want to listen to? How do you want to walk? And I answer those questions from the perspective of this character, this version of me that I am playing on my walk. This practice has been so powerful, and I oftentimes will pair it with a song that I just listen to on repeat because then every time your body hears that song, it'll instantly feel those feelings of what it would feel like to already be that version of you. And that can be really powerful too, because then when you're having a hard time actually getting into that energy or that manifestation, or you're having a doubt come up and it's just really hard to get over it, you can play that song and your body will kind of more naturally go back into that state. Then you are going to do these things religiously and you are going to apply discipline every single day. You're going to put these things in your calendar as if they are just as important things to do as anything in your job or anything someone is holding you accountable for. Now, once you kind of get into that energy again, you are obviously going to have these kind of intuitive actions come up, just like when you manifest anything. And you're going to need to obviously follow the intuitive actions and take action towards these things you're working towards. All of that's the same. But what you're going to do differently is that once you have that manifestation again, rather than just letting yourself have the manifestation and kind of just not feeling as excited because you've already done all of this mental and energetic work to get there, you're gonna take a breather and you are going to force yourself to be excited. You are going to celebrate like you've never celebrated before, and you are gonna make the biggest deal about this to yourself and to anyone else you want. Celebrations do not have to be crazy. They do not have to cost a lot of money. They do not have to be anything that miraculous, but there has to be a period of time where you are teaching your body that something good happened. So your body doesn't just think you put all this hard work out and now it's over. Your body needs to remember that there was a high after it did all of this, because that reward is what's going to help your body feel like it's easy to manifest. Of course, we're going to do this. Even if it does take more energy, it's worth it. Things that have been really fun for me in the past are things like setting a celebratory dinner night where you bring all your friends out and you guys all just go to a restaurant you've been wanting to try. For one of the manifestations I did, I brought my mom along on a trip because the manifestation had me going to a certain location to speak at an event. And so I brought my mom along and we had an entire little weekend together in that city rather than me just flying in and out. If it was a financial win, sometimes I'd let myself go out and buy something that I hadn't been letting myself buy yet. But you really just want to make sure that whatever you celebrate with, it's number one, special. It's not something that you do every day. And ideally, it's not something you've done even once the entire time you've been working towards this manifestation. And number two, it brings a very positive, heightened emotional state so that your body wants to feel that way again. It remembers that moment and it's like, oh my God, that was so good. How can we get there? These are the two components that allow your body on a more primal level to be able to justify spending energy towards manifestation for your next manifestation and your next one and your next one, so that manifestation becomes a habit that you positively enjoy rather than something that your body has found is kind of exhausting. I'm actually in one of these manifestation gaps myself now. So if you try any of these tips, let me know and leave a comment letting me know what your next big manifestation is so we can all motivate each other. And don't forget to grab my free daily breathwork track in the description. That's all for today. Bye, guys.